Guys.
Oh, there she is.
Oh, there she is. Perfect. All right, who wants to go first? Or share, who wants to share a situation? Sources of power and
Back a few years ago, I was a senior technician at a company, and they did like an annual customer appreciation day. And during that time, our company, the repair department, would put on what we call a road show, and I was asked to lead it that year, and so I guess I call it legitimate power because I was appointed to do it. And what was their different departments would have a volunteer represent their area and describe what we repaired, computer peripheral devices, and each one would choose 2 or 3 examples, and we did a PowerPoint presentation, but also we had tables for afterwards where the customers could actually walk around and see the product and be able to ask each person at the table questions about it. And I guess I used the democratic approach because each person had experience and expertise on each area in their device, so I allowed each one in their own group. We just picked 2 examples from each area and talked about it.
So should I go next? Can you guys hear me?
go right
Yes.
ahead.
All right. So currently, I work at a place called Higher Ed Growth. We're a digital marketing agency for universities and colleges. Previously, everywhere I've worked, I've never really cared or tried with work or employment. You just day to day kind of go to work. But now I work underneath an effective leader, and effective leadership is someone that facilitates personal growth and learning. With the other followers and group members, we become more mature and productive than we were before. He empowers us and stimulates growth through us by sharing and helping us tackle new challenges and learn new skills, and it makes us feel a greater sense of fulfillment. He gives us tasks that I normally wouldn't do or have carried out by myself, and it makes me feel like part of the team. Other places I've worked, like PayPal and eBay, you're just like another wheel in the cog. They don't really look at you or try to help you move on. This leader that I have right now, he just really pushes me to the next level. He's a visionary. He communicates his vision to all of us and what he wants to transform his organization into, with us helping him by doing that. He's very compelling with what he does with us and his sense of purpose and encouragement to us. So that's that.
Awesome. See, so my situation's kind of similar to yours. So working for Starbucks was not like my career choice. It kind of fell in my lap. I was just entry level barista where it was my nice and weekend job, my second job. I literally met my husband in the parking lot every day to hand the kids over to him so I could go to work. But because of the, type of leader that runs the entire company, as well as different district managers and store managers I had, they enabled me and helped me to develop and to become a leader, which then led to promotion after promotion, up to where I am now as a district manager. So I have 12 store managers that are my kind of my core team, and then I also have the ability to influence other baristas and shift supervisors. I really liked the charismatic leader throughout the textbook. I liked reading about that. I feel like that Starbucks does a lot to kind of rally behind that type of leader and to empower the partners to do the right thing and to kind of go above and beyond. Um, but the in chapter 5, so I love how it's the leaders gain more power by empowering others. And so that really resonates with me and how I moved into leadership and kind of what I try to do with my store manager team and, help them to be better store managers and empower them to want more for them, more for their own team, more just moving up in the company. And even with, having ASU, it's just another way that I can connect with partners and kind of empower them to want more, especially the millennial age group that may not know what they want to do with their life. It's great for me to be able to kind of share stories and say, well, why don't you go to ASU? It's free. Let's talk about it to help develop them into to a leader or just, kind of point them in the right direction. So.
Yeah, I really connected with the leaders empowering others. Like chapter 5, paradoxically, leaders gain more power by empowering others. Distributing power increases job satisfaction and performance of employees. Yeah, my first job was at Chick-fil-A, and I was like, I don't know, like 15, like didn't know what I was doing. I was so bad at everything, like made so many mistakes. But one manager just like believed in me and like really helped me. I ended up like advancing in the company, becoming a team leader, and it's just because of like one little empowerment, like one person believing in you that really just like makes the difference. Yeah, and then I like my job more, like the more like involvement I'm doing, like Mark, what you said, just like the more like task I'm given and just like power, the more I enjoy my job and feel more connected to it, and like I want to try hard and not just treat it as a job that I just go to get paid, but I actually want to like invest and be part of it. So.
For me, it was kind of the same quote that was already said about where'd the quote go? We define power as the ability to influence others. I used to work for Starbucks. I just recently got a job at Wells Fargo. And like my first 2 weeks on the job, we had like district manager, regional manager all come for like a store visit. And all of them like shook my hand. They wanted to get to know me. They welcomed me to the team. They asked me what I wanted to do in that career. And then on a daily basis, my managers are always pulling each member aside and ask like, what can we do to help you succeed today? What do you want to focus on? What can we do to help you? So I think that's like a really good quality for a leader to have, is believing in your team and helping them and having your team members know that you're there for them. Yeah.
So one quote, I think it was from chapter 5 that I read that I really liked. It said, "A leader is someone who can take a group of people to a place they don't think they can go." So I mean, I feel like I'm definitely going in a place I never thought I would be, or this direction. I always thought I'd just be working in a call center or doing some type of food. I'm actually learning how to program and do some digital things I never would have done with school because I'm being pushed by this leader. So I mean, that quote in this chapter really stuck out to me.
So
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say my computer's like frozen, so I don't know what the other questions were.
We can hear you okay.
What were the other questions that you needed? Is everyone else's like echoing?
Yeah, that happens with Google Hangout.
Okay, the other questions. Okay, this says, please discuss with your group members situations in which you have employed the various sources of power and influence in the textbook. Additionally, work to make ties between these sources of power and the various types of leadership we have discussed.
So there are some negative sources of power in this chapter, 4 through 6, that I've worked underneath before, like coercive power, where they have the ability to punish and give negative reinforcements. I've worked underneath a man who, he's always just, the turnover rate was ridiculous. Like 60% each week, just in and out with people and cutting salaries and benefits for people. Have you guys ever worked underneath a negative leader like that?
My final weeks of Starbucks, it was kind of like that, which is why I left. But not to where he was like taking away benefits and everything. It was just a negative work environment, and he just didn't have the right mindset. And then was reward on that?
Yeah, reward power.
Is that like a negative one?
I could go either way, maybe, but I think it's mostly positive, unless they abuse it.
It's interesting, though. I tell a lot of people when it comes to, trying to become a leader, especially within Starbucks, the first thing that a lot of partners will try to do is some kind of a contest. Like, oh, I can show my leadership by growing coffee sales. And that's always the type of power that they go to first. Is I'm going to have a contest, and I'm going to give a gift certificate or a prize to get people to do what I want them to do. And it always works in the short term. But, a month later after the contest is over, it doesn't continue to work. So I think it's a great step-off point for a lot of people to kind of test the leadership waters. But I have definitely seen the negative parts where it doesn't continue on. It can be ineffective or destructive. And you're not really leading anybody, in my opinion. You're just kind of recognizing something, right? So you're giving them a reward, but are you really inspiring them to do, what it is that you want them to do, or are they just doing it for the prize in the end,
Yeah,
I think
that's what I
that
was
can
gonna
be
say.
really destructive, because then that person that won the reward, the other, they can rub in other people's faces, or the other people don't feel as equal to that person, and maybe if one store gets recognition, then the other Starbucks employees at the other Starbucks employees don't like that store, the people that are working there, because they can think they're better than them or treated differently than they are. And so sometimes that reward can do more harm than what it's rewarding one person for.
Yeah, or what happens like when the reward is taken away? Is there still that motivation there to motivate people to do good?
Once in a while, sometimes they offer rewards, but they never follow through, too, sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
That's not good.
For me, I think reward, the only way it would be like a benefit would be So, would be if someone's like going above and beyond their job. Like, I don't think people should be rewarded for doing their job because they're already getting paid to do it. But if they're going above and beyond, yeah, I think reward is, perfect for that.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. Anyone else want to share anything else that they learned through the 3 chapters this week? I can't tell you. I spent all Friday doing interviews for Starbucks for ASMs and store managers, and one of the not so great interviews that we did, I had wrote down on my paper that the person said, "I think," like every single sentence started with "I think," and they also said "like," so, it could be 8 or 9 times a sentence. So I thought the powerful and powerless talk, I kind of laughed at that a little bit when I was reading through, like, oh, okay, here's where some of those things come in, and it definitely is powerless talk because it stops kind of the flow of the conversation, but it was interesting to be able to see what each of those types of words mean. So the difference between hesitations and tag questions and disclaimers, I found that really interesting because I definitely notice, and probably because I have teenagers, but I really notice when people say "like" a lot. And once I notice it, it's so hard to stop hearing it. And I didn't realize that it was a powerless word. So I found that really interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if no one has anything else, we can stop the hangout, and I can send the link over to the instructor. It looks like everything went good this time, so that's exciting. I'm glad it was more successful this time than what we experienced last week. So
So we have 2 more of these?
I think so, yeah.
2 more? All right.
I know. I think the next one we probably should take at least 5 minutes to talk a little bit about the leadership thing we have to submit, and I guess it's like a paper type about the 5 leadership styles we all picked.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Let's just make sure we take some time to talk about that next time on how we want to type it up, how we want to edit it and format, just to make sure we're all on the same page. I'm sure we can probably use Google that way we can all access it and kind of
Use
edit it.
Google Word.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys, and see you guys next Saturday.
Have a good weekend.
Bye,
Guys
guys.
too.
Bye.
Bye.